leverage your knowledge to success.
Hello, my good friends. Welcome to another episode of Adhitya Talks. Today we have Mr. Salil Agrawal on our show. It's a very good day to have a discussion, and I'm really excited to, flesh this, interview out a bit more with sir and, discuss upon his story, his experiences, and his success. So, welcome to the show, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Aditya, and thanks for inviting me.
It's an honor, sir, to be discussing with you, and I hope my viewers also enjoy this discussion as much as I will. So it's a pleasure to be here. Can you give us a brief introduction for the benefit of our viewers?
I think I will keep this to just two lines, and as the interview progresses, your viewers will get to know more about me. I am an alumni of IIM Ahmedabad. I have done lots of diverse things in my career of 42 years plus. And today I mentor students. I've written 3 books, and I have a YouTube channel on soft skills. And I believe you want to talk to me about soft skills, correct?
Yes, sir. So, uh, it's a very inspiring story which Sir has, and he has a lot of mastery in the realm of soft skills, which are paramount in terms of career success, and really are something that in this world where AI is dominating and tech is also dominating, where soft skills and the real personal skills are very rare. So we call them soft skills, yet they often determine career success. Why do you think that they are still underestimated in this day and age? And why are they so important? And why do schools and universities still do not, pay importance to it?
Okay, so Aditya, too many questions, but I will try and answer all these questions one by one. So let me first say, I don't think I have a mastery on soft skills, but yes, I do understand soft skills. I have a book on soft skills, and a lot of content of that book is now in the form of YouTube videos, which if people get excited about the subject, they can watch, read, etc. Right? To give you a little background, I was not the smartest student in terms of soft skills when I was 20 or 21. And a lot of what I am today and the ability with which I can speak to people, communicate with people, interact with people, and my soft skills are a function of what I have consciously built over the years. I think the opportunity came in multiple ways. First of all, when I was 23, I got the opportunity to go and work abroad. I worked in 3 different countries. I worked in Middle East, Germany, and UK. Gave me the opportunity to interact with very, very different people, and each of these, trust me, is a great learning. And especially going back to the decades of the 80s, it was super learning. Secondly, when I was in the UK, I got a chance to do a train the trainer, and I realized that communication skills is extremely important, and those skills have sort of helped me conduct programs on communication skills, talk to students about it, and that's probably somewhere goes back to where my current book talks about, right? The third is something that I did a course on management of creativity and innovation while I was at IIM Ahmedabad, and I think that course also had a lot of influence because I realized that creativity, innovation, and some of these soft skills are so critical to success. We tend to just take life along without thinking about what else is there. I think we tend to over focus on marks and technical information, and I think that's where I come in from a soft skills perspective. Now, your next question was, why do students underplay it? I think is that the correct question, or
Yes.
okay? So let me take that question next. I think what is happening is that it is not the students who are underplaying it, but I think it is the teachers and the parents who don't play the necessary role that they need to play. Right? So have you, Aditya, you are very young, right? Tell me, have any of your parents or any of your teachers asked you how do you speak, how good are you at walking, how good are you at shaking hands, do you make eye contact when you speak? Has any of these questions ever been asked to you by
Not
any parent, any teacher?
well. Now my professors at IIM Code really do test me in on my soft skills and do question them.
Okay,
But
so
yeah,
no, so
but
I was
when
talking of not now because you've chosen a
yeah.
profession where this is part of what you do,
Yeah,
but
but
before that,
before this, then my during my conventional education and my time in 11th and 12th, I think soft skills were the least important part of my
right.
you know
So
uh, curriculum.
So all parents will ask you, you'll come home, they'll say, oh beta physics में कितने नंबर आए, केमिस्ट्री में कितने नंबर आए, मैथ्स में कितने नंबर आए, वही सवाल पूछे जाते हैं. And let me tell you, Aditya, what you focus on is what gets developed. So
Hmm.
if you are not going to focus on things outside of the marks that you get in the technical subjects, is you will not focus on anything else. You are not focusing, and the way the life has changed, if I see the life change in the last 40 years, we are more stuck to phones, we are on chat, we are on text messages, our social interactions have gone down. As a child, I would probably go with my father and haggle over buying vegetables, which I don't think today's generation will ever do. You will open an app and order vegetables on Zoom, and there is zero contact with anybody outside. So things have changed, and I think with those things changing, the importance of soft skills only increases, and the parents and the teachers, honestly, they are the first set of people that I blame who have not understood the importance of how much importance soft skills have played in their own lives, and they have not focused on that.
Yeah,
Right now, parents, I can still excuse that they don't understand it, but teachers, I never excuse. Right, and I think teachers just focus on teaching them the routine, because somewhere I think the parents also come back and don't talk about the other things.
hmm. I agree. Teachers and the education system in whole, because teachers themselves are a product of the guidelines set by the government. I think the government itself should incorporate social skills and social ability in its curriculum and enhance this trait in the students across India. And when a change is done on that scale, I think really it will be profound, and we will be able to observe its effect, and really the country will be able to grow. So what are
Hang on,
in
Aditya. I have something to say here. You made a great summary, but you are technically wrong. You'll be surprised that the CBSE curriculum actually has something called life skills built into the curriculum.
hmm,
And a lot of those life skills are actually help you develop soft skills. The irony is that no school actually teaches those life skills. So I happened to meet the HRD minister at one stage 5 years ago, and I actually asked him, why don't you enforce it? And he said, why don't you send me a note? I did send him a note, but nothing happened.
hmm. Yeah, so the thing is, the rules are in place, but the enforcement is where the government,
Correct.
is
That I agree.
failing to do. So, introducing systems and processes where, the government
Correct.
actually follows through with the rules is where, our Indian system is struggling. And now
But there is one
communication.
more challenge.
Hmm.
Sorry, Aditya, I think I'm interrupting you, but I think
No
it's
worries,
important I
no
mention
worries.
this.
It's a
And
discussion.
so there is one more challenge. The country does not have good teachers for this. And they don't even have the right methodologies in place for this. So you are right. There is a lot of work that needs to be done if we need to do this.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of training on the part. See, then again, then it comes into education again. If the teachers are educated properly on how they should teach, the students will learn better. So ultimately, the
Correct.
root cause is always going to be education and the flaw of education in our country. So Uh, Communication is the most important skill, I believe, in every professional's life. Why do brilliant people sometimes struggle to succeed professionally because of lacking in this ability? And how do you think a person who has the mental barrier of not like communicating and speaking well really overcome it after in a later stage of their life?
Okay. So, Aditya, you are absolutely right. Communication is probably one of the biggest challenges that people face, right? I've found so many, and one of the first places where you actually come across this challenge is when you face an interview. So, you may be a very bright student. You face as, you walk into the interview room, you can't speak properly, you are not able to communicate properly. And it costs you either your admission to the best MBA school, or it costs you, getting into the best job that you are looking for. And a person who's probably not as good as you technically actually takes away that job, right? So I think the preparation for communication is something that has to start, you know, at the college level, if not earlier, right? I think if I can send one message to your listeners through this, podcast, it'll be that, please, if you are listening, if you are actually understand that, if you, sorry, I'm going to repeat this, you may probably edit it out, but if you are listening in, please understand that communication is the most important skill, and given today's environment, you will have to prepare for it yourself. And it is not difficult. It is a question of practice. I think as you practice, you will overcome the barrier. There are three steps to learning when you are an adult. The first is awareness. So you have to understand that communication is an important requirement. The second is the need. You have to understand how important it is. And the third is practice. The tools on what you practice, how you practice, are actually covered in the book and in the YouTube channel. I've got some very, very simple tools which I've used them in classes. I've used them in classrooms, in IIMs, in colleges, across wherever I've got a chance.
Hmm. I agree. Education and self practice can really improve your communication ability, and it's just a mental barrier at the end of the day. With enough practice and enough confidence in your knowledge, when you go in front of somebody, I think communicating becomes less of a challenge. It's all about the confidence that you have in yourself and the level of knowledge that you possess on the topic, and that really dictates your soft skills. So AI is becoming smarter every day. Which
Correct.
human skills do you think will become more valuable as technology advances?
Absolutely, yes. But before I go there, Aditya, I have something else on the previous topic, if you allow me.
Sure.
Let me ask you a question. If you go back and look at your podcast, 1 year ago or 2 years ago, do you see a difference?
Yeah, definitely. Since,
Okay,
my knowledge base has expanded by a lot, by the virtue of
right,
going to an IIM and studying all the cases and different, philosophies that they
right.
teach there. And
In terms
because
of
of that,
communication skills,
in terms of communication, I think I have improved a little bit since I've gotten out of my shell, stopped preparing for exams, and, got to really communicate with all the individuals around me. But I think I've excelled in this aspect since I was young. Since I was a part of a lot of communication clubs, a lot of public speaking clubs, it has been
okay. So,
a
what
very
made you aware of some of these things?
well. Initially, I was into stand-up comedy. So
Oh,
just
okay,
putting
that's
your
interesting.
so I was interested in putting myself on the stage and cracking some jokes, and I think that is the ultimate form of
Wonderful.
uh you
Yes,
know
that is a very powerful way of doing it.
yeah. So I
So
started from there.
people who are stand-up comedians, people who are part of dramatics club, actually learn, communication skills through that channel. One of the places where I learned how to throw my voice, how to speak loudly, was when I was part of the dramatics club. And this was
Hmm.
in college. Anyway, we can move to the AI question. So, yes, you are absolutely right. As AI comes in, AI is going to continue to become more and more powerful. But given, in spite of the fact that AI will become powerful, the people who will succeed are people who have better human skills. Because
Hmm.
AI cannot replace humans. In fact, with AI coming in, the power of humans only goes up, right? I have seen resumes coming to me where people don't even edit what AI is, you know, churned out for them. I think, application of mind, being able to think, being able to process information, all of these soft skills are going to be required much, much more intensely than even see, because you could earlier get away with less. Now you have AI as a competitor. So you have to start beating AI.
Yeah, I agree. AI is a tool at the end of the day, and it is accessible to everybody. So how you
Correct.
use the tool is something that, matters. And aside from that, the information or the capabilities of the tool and how you present them is also something that is important. So soft skills, again, as the previous topic invades this one, uh, are going to be very important, and creative skills, having the creative direction to put the AI to use is really important, and is going to be something which uh, is going to pay a lot for in the future. So, sir, what do you think are the jobs that will disappear because of AI, and what kind of human capabilities do you think will become irreplaceable, and what kind of skills do you think will be created because of this AI revolution?
Okay. So, Aditya, I'm definitely not a fortune teller, right? And I think the question is, I believe in one thing, that none of the jobs that exist today will probably exist 5 years from now or 10 years from now, right? So, if people are preparing themselves for jobs that exist today, I think they are in the wrong place. I think they have to start thinking of the future and not today, right? People, for example, if you really look at the short term, coding as a job is going away very, very fast, right? Computers can now code, right? So all those people who learn languages will probably soon find themselves without a job, right? Computers, AI is becoming creative. AI is doing analytics. AI is doing all kinds of things. I think the ability to think outside the box, the ability to stay human, the ability to leverage people in a way that you can actually progress, I think some of these things will have to come from humans. And the question that you have is, I think, on the tip of everyone, but I don't think anybody is in a position to predict how fast AI will progress, which jobs will stay and which jobs will go away. I think that will be, an interesting one for me as well if I can find out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very entropic, and we really can't predict what's going to happen in the future. For
Correct.
example, with the rise of generative AI and all of that, I think a lot of jobs will be at risk, and we really don't know and can't predict the scale of AI and how, where it will peak at. So, uh, you interact with a lot of students and at leading institutions. What concerns you the most about this current generation that you believe is something that is unique to us, and what kind of strengths do you think that the previous generations may not have had that we have?
So I think, let me first answer the second question, right? Because that is a better starting point to the two questions that you have. I think, first of all, I think most of you are very, very smart, right? You're all born with the, if I take the people in this generation, born after 2000, let us say, uh, your technical skills are amazing. So what most people will take 5 minutes to figure out, you will probably figure out in 2 minutes, right? We give you a device, you will figure it out, you will handle it. But I think, coming back to your first question, what I see missing, I see, what is missing is, if I have to pin down, the first one I would probably say is patience. I find your generation very, very impatient, and I think that being impatient actually leads to a lot of things. It leads to not focusing, not looking at alternatives, not considering what other options exist. So a whole lot of soft skills. You see, the soft skills, I have 35 soft skills mentioned in my book. But when I was writing the book, I realized that these soft skills are actually interrelated. They're not isolated. There's a huge overlap between different soft skills. So, you know, I think patience as a virtue is something that I would say is one thing that I believe. The second thing is a certain level of overconfidence, if I may say that, and believe that I know everything. So, when I try and tell some of these students that, hey guys, please prepare on for communication skills, they're like, yeah, but I'm good at communication. What's wrong with me? And it's only when they fail in the interview and they come crying that they say, oh shit, there was something wrong, right? Because they're not prepared for it. So that second is, to me, is, I would only stick to these two.
Yeah, I
I don't know
agree.
what's your view.
I agree. Impatience and the lack of attention span. This generation uh, has really no appreciation for the calmness and stillness, which really made the great thinkers of the times before us, which inspired us to this day, really succeed. And they don't really appreciate that, and kind of, are move with the flow and don't really plan out every aspect of their life, which is, I guess, some people say ignorance is bliss, but I see ignorance as a poison, and I think it will corrupt the future generations going forward, because this is something that this is which is increasing day by day with the advent of technology and AI. So people don't even spare the effort to search up anything. They ask AI
Correct.
and discuss with it and trust AI to make the best decision for them. So they are
Correct.
losing their
And
own
not,
analyzing abilities and their own thinking capabilities.
yeah, and they forget that AI can be wrong.
Hmm.
Okay. And you made a very interesting comment about ignorance is bliss. Yes, ignorance is bliss, but knowing that you are ignorant is very important.
Yeah, I agree. So, what? Why do you believe that young professionals, despite being, struggling with communication and, uh, are like, why do you believe many young professionals struggle with communication despite being highly educated and having a lot of knowledge and a lot of, achievements behind them?
Sorry, I think I got confused with your question. Can you restate it, please?
Why do many young professionals struggle with communication despite being highly educated?
Because they've never had the opportunity. Nobody has asked them to stand up in front of people and speak. They have never had the chance to express their views. And what I find in a lot of youngsters is that knowledge also is very, very shallow. So if I ask someone to talk to me for 3 minutes on a topic that they like, they are not able to do that. They will give me two sentences, they will give me broken sentences, but they cannot give me an essay. Right? I remember that as part of my ragging, someone said to me that, tell me about a cow. And I started and I started and I struggled a little bit, but I started and I kept talking. They said, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So you can I can talk about a cow today for 5 minutes if you want me to do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of institutions also appreciate this. I heard that in an interview for IIM Kozhikode, interviewee was asked to sing impromptu, and he sang to the best
Yeah,
of his capabilities and
hmm.
didn't let the pressure break him, and he got in. So I believe just
Absolutely.
having a calm attitude towards any adversity, and just facing it as a inquisitive with an inquisitive nature is something that really grows with you and helps you succeed in life. So
So on
you
this, let me ask you a question, Aditya. What is the opposite of red?
the blue.
Okay, good. So you at least came up with blue, right? And let me tell you, red has multiple opposites, and all the answers are right answers because there is no one right answer. Unfortunately, again, our education system has made us believe that there is always one right answer. And therefore, many people come back and tell me, when I ask them this question, they come back and tell me, what a stupid question. There is no opposite of red. So, full marks to you for saying blue, right? I understand why you said blue. You said blue because red is hot and blue is cold. But you can draw many, many more analogies. For example, you can think red is stop, green is go. You can say red is one end of the spectrum and violet is another end of the spectrum if you think of Vibgyor. So there are many answers and each one of those answers is correct.
Yeah, it's how you analyze the problem and your demeanor when
Correct.
you're answering that really
Correct.
matters, not the sanctity or the validity of the answer itself, which also
Yeah.
matters to some extent. But having basic analytical capabilities are something which you have to have when you kind of approach these problems. So
Yeah.
you often speak about driven leadership, and leadership as a whole is something that you believe is going to be extremely important in the upcoming future. Why are values important in a performance driven world, and what kind of values are we talking about?
So when you start talking of values, the person is gonna evaluate you based on who you are, right? And they are going to trust you and follow you because of who you are, and you are defined by your set of values. So if they find you lying, do you think you will believe your boss the next time? So you have, for example, integrity to me is one of those most important values that you can never compromise. Right? If my team finds me cheating in any form of way, or if they find me that I don't have the desired integrity, I will not be fit to lead. So having some of those core values, and that's why some of these better organizations define and pick up these set of 5 or 6 or 7 values and say these are the cherished values of our organization, and these are the values that you need to demonstrate at any stage in life, at every juncture.
Hmm.
So values are very, very important, and that is something that organizations actually recognize. And they talk
Hmm.
about it, but they don't. Again, they talk about it, but probably don't do enough about it.
Yeah, I agree to some extent, but values are something which define a person, and some traits are generally by statistically are something that indicate that you will have a higher success rate in life. When you analyze the founders and the successful entrepreneurs of this generation who have made a name for themselves, have left a mark in history for themselves, or even the players, the sports players, the athletes, the famous people that you hear about every day, all of them have some qualities that they share. And when you look at it from a totally logical point of view, I believe building these values is really something that you can do to go the extra mile to have a successful life for yourself and be content. So uh, leadership, what's your opinion on this?
So, Aditya, I think you are mixing up a few things here. So, values is one area. You know, every successful person may not have gone become successful because of the values. They may also have become successful because of certain traits. So traits are very different from values, right?
Yeah,
So, for
but
example,
the ethics behind those traits are something that we
not
can
necessarily, not
observe.
necessarily. So let me give
Obviously,
you
it
an
can.
example.
Yeah. Hmm.
So let me give you an example. A good sportsman, I will pick up a field where there's less controversy. A good sportsman may actually become a great sportsman only because of perseverance, right? But even good sportsmen are known to, have lack of integrity, right?
Lack of.
And they will still succeed.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not
I
naming anybody here. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to pick up a field which is less controversial,
but
and and
from a logical point of view, sir, you can also argue that a lot of the successful businessmen and the entrepreneurs also have a lack of integrity and have done
true,
dubious
true.
acts. So I think, yeah,
I
that
I
is
do.
the part and parcel of being successful. You have to sacrifice some, traits. And then also you have to also have a very hungry mindset. You really cannot be satisfied until you achieve a goal. And having that kind of mindset is detrimental to oneself as well, because when you achieve that peak, you have no drive, you have no meaning in life. So having
Hmm.
that kind of a purpose is also not good for you. But looking and taking the best parts of these fellows is something that we can certainly do to improve ourselves. And
Okay. So
uh,
Aditya, I'm gonna leave you with your, because some of the things that we are talking about here are very individual, and I don't think 10-15 minutes is gonna be enough for a discussion on a subject of this nature.
yes,
So, I think if we don't get into a deeper discussion on this subject, it'll be good for both of us
yeah, definitely.
and
So
your listeners.
yes, sir. So let's talk about your book. Say
Sure.
yes, unleash your potential. So what does
Yeah.
saying yes truly mean? And can you analyze, this statement, this small statement, deeply?
Okay. So, my book is titled Say Yes, Unleash Your Potential. I think what I'm saying is that every person has huge potential. Now, because people do not focus on what they really want to do in life, they don't align their goals with what they really want to be, and they don't align the skills that they build in line with what they want to do, they are not able to fulfill those potentials. So I suggest a very simple path in my book. I say, first of all, understand who you are as an individual. Two, understand for yourself what you really wish to do, not what your parents tell you, not what your neighbors tell you, not what your peers tell you, not what your teachers tell you, right? Number three, once you have set your goal, once you know this is what you want to do, understand what is it that you will need to be successful in that area. Read about it, understand it. And number four, start preparing the skills that are required to be successful in that area. So that's where it comes to. And when I talk about skills, I say that hard skills can be learned outside, but these are the soft skills that will help you throughout your life. So we talk about 35 soft skills, and one of the most interesting soft skills when I was writing this book that and I love the video that came out on that soft skills, is being charming, right? Quite honestly, till before I wrote the book, I did not even realize that being charming was actually classified as a soft skill. So there you go. The skill that even you've probably not even heard about.
Yeah. So, sir, analyze, like, what does success mean to you, first of all, and why do you think people fail to realize their potential and try to chase success but fail to do so ultimately?
Okay. So what does it's a very very philosophical question. What does success mean to me? Is that the question, or what does success mean is the question?
No.
Because what
First of
success
all,
means to me may be completely different from what success means for you.
yes, I agree. So I am
Okay.
asking from your point of
So
view,
so
what
great.
what is success for
So
you?
So 44 years ago, when I was in my at IIM Ahmedabad, I was asked, what would you like to be 10 years from now, right? As part of one particular course. And I said, I would like to be happy. I would like to have a happy married life. And that question was very different. That answer was very different from what most other people said. Most other people defined it in terms of money, in terms of career, in terms of what they will achieve. And I said, look, this is the overriding goal which will help me achieve all of those other things. Right now, for being happy, if I have to compromise, what it really means is that if I have to compromise on what job I do for being happy, I will do that. So to me, success means being happy, being able, being at peace with myself, being satisfied, and having a ecosystem around me that does not bother me too much. To me, that is success.
Hmm. Interesting. So that's a very simple, way to define success, and I think
Yeah.
keeping it this way is some good for you because you feel successful all the time, and I
Well,
think having
I feel
positive,
that.
yeah,
So you are right. I feel that despite the fact that I probably never retired as a CEO of a mega organization, I feel I was very, very successful.
yeah, definitely, and having this kind of a mindset really helps you feel content all of the time, and being with that kind of an attitude really helps increase your lifespan, which is something that we
True,
all appreciate. So, uh,
true.
what what do you think? What do you think is the biggest worry you have regarding the future, and what is your biggest hope for the future?
Interesting. So I don't think I have a worry per se. My worry is that uh, you know I don't know. I think I don't really have a worry for the future. I think I'm too fatalist, and I believe that even if there are things that are not going right, the nature will fix it and things will move in the right direction. So I'm not worried about the future. I think in terms of hope, I think I the amount of progress that we have had in the last 200 years, if you look at the quality of life of people in the last 200 years, it's just multiplied many fold. If you compare, human beings have been on earth for about a few thousand years, and of that, the last 200 years have probably been the most productive in terms of changing the lifestyle and changing how we live. And I'm hopeful about progress, and I want to see what else it brings for us.
Yes. So, sir, we are going to have a rapid fire round right now. You have to answer a few questions of
Okay.
mine with only one word. So, be strict to yourself, only answer with one word. Can we start?
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, answer with only one word.
We can start.
Yeah,
We can start.
communication or technical knowledge.
Communication,
Uh, IQ or EQ.
EQ,
Leadership or expertise.
leadership,
One skill every student should master.
creativity,
One habit that transformed your life.
being honest, being present,
One quality every leader must possess.
being honest,
One mistake young professionals should avoid.
overthinking,
One word that defines success.
peace of mind.
All right, sir. That concludes the rapid fire round. So, lastly, since we are conclude, like I've taken a lot of time from you as well. It was a pleasure discussing with you, and I really enjoyed this session. I hope my viewers feel the same, sir. If you could pass the mic to one leader, educator, thinker, or mentor, which you know, whom you think my audience can benefit from, who would they be and why?
So Aditya, I have a very, very large network. I think let's take this offline and you tell me the kind of people you're looking for, and I'll help you connect with those people.
Sure, sir. Thank you. It was a fun discussion, and I hope my viewers also enjoyed. If you have any questions for sir, please do ask, and I'll put his books in the comments below so you can look them up and support sir by purchasing them. And thank you, sir. It was an amazing discussion.
And one self promo, Aditya, people should, if they don't want to read the book, please watch the YouTube. I You should mention the link to the YouTube channel as well. There is a playlist called The Book, which has all the